Hi there, thank you for hopping along with the Global Stampin Video Hop. You're watching Esther from Stampinstarcreations. I made this card a while ago inspired by some packaging, and I wanted to show you how I did this technique but using it for this month's theme of masculine. So for today's project I'll be using Seaside Notions and the Birch stamp set. Using a piece of Pacific Point measuring 3 1/4 by 5.5 inches to make sure that I get a matte layer on later. Then going in with the same colour, Pacific Point, I'm stamping up my birch stamp, but just in dotting it around in different places so that I don't have the whole image coming on the card. Then I'm going to use whatever's left on the stamp just to add some more dimension and just use up the ink that's on there to do some more stripes on the card. Next I'm going in with a Night of Navy, and I'm using the seahorse and the larger stamps first to add the focal points and to make sure I can get them spaced out where I want them before adding the other stamps. So I was a bit mindful that the seaweed might look as if it was floating, but I went ahead and stamped it in there. So spacing the images out, making sure that they go right to the edge of the paper so that it looks like a complete print. And then going in with a smaller shell stamp as a filler. I'm using the ink that's just left over on my stamps and going in with an aqua pen, highlighting the areas of the stamps and working towards the left hand side generally and just colouring those in. So using the stamps to kind of highlight the lines and to use it as a guideline to show you where to colour. Then next I'm going in with some Whisper White refill ink, which I've applied onto my acrylic block, and again using the aqua painter to go directly onto the card. Now this isn't any special watercolour card, it's just Stampin' Up's normal cardstock, so you'll find that when you use the ink and the water it does seep through quite quickly and you'll be left with a slightly different colour, more of an opaque white look. I found that the more you layered the ink, that obviously the darker the white would go, but this altogether just tones down at the end when it all dries. So concentrating on the right hand side where the Night of Navy isn't, and so you've got that contrast and the highlights of the white onto the card. So I just wanted to show you the ink. It is much thicker than our other inks. It's slightly sticky as well, so don't worry about that consistency if you go to use this white ink. I decided I wanted to add more texture to my background, so actually dripping water from the aqua painter with the white still in it and splattering all over the page. Giving this a dry off with the heat tool just to try and get it drier quicker. There are a few wet spots as you'll see at the back, and this soon dries with the heat tool. I thought it just helped to give a really cool underwater theme with those spots and splatters. I want to show you how easy it was to clean off the ink off your acrylic block. This is just using my Stampin' chamois with water in it, and it's as good as new once it's cleaned off. I'm using a layer of Night of Navy, which is 3 7/8 by 5 5/8, and I cut out the centre to cut down on bulk and also to save on card. I'm bringing on the Well Said die cuts, and I've already gone ahead and cut out that leaf shape, and I'm going to add some more detail in my back. So using the 2-inch circle punch, I'm just cutting away the circle, deliberately not going right to the end, so I've got a straight edge to match the edge of my card. So I'll go ahead and cut out the word birthday using the Whisper White cardstock, and then again with Pacific Point. I was having troubles with the letters blending into the background after I layered them up, and I wanted them to be more obvious, so I used a strip of Night of Navy across the back. I decided that the weeds weren't showing up, so I've inked them up, and hopefully that shows them up a bit more onto my card. Thank you so much for watching. Please do follow on to the next video, which will be linked in my description below for the next person in the hop. Thank you very much for watching. Do give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this technique, and do subscribe if you're not already. Thank you very much. Have a good day.